All right, let's kick off another deep dive. And wow, looks like someone wants to become an Excel ninja. You've given us a ton of notes on Excel shortcut keys.
Yeah, it looks like someone's tired of clicking through menus.
Exactly. Time to unleash the power of the keyboard, right?
Absolutely.
So we're going to uncover the secrets to navigating spreadsheets with like lightning speed.
It's a smart move.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, once you master these shortcuts, you'll not only save time, but you'll also find yourself working way more intuitively and efficiently.
I can imagine that.
Yeah, it's like learning the secret handshake of Excel pros.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's dive right in. This cheat sheet we have, it focuses on keyboard combos, and we're going to decode them together. First up, the function keys,
Okay.
or as I like to call them, the unsung heroes of Excel. I'm familiar with a few, but I'm ready to be wowed. What can you tell us about these F keys?
Well, the function keys are often overlooked,
Yeah.
but they're incredibly versatile. Take F1, for example.
Mm-hmm.
On its own, it's your gateway to Excel help.
Right.
But combine it with Creel, and it toggles the ribbon's visibility. Add Alt to the mix, and you can instantly create charts from your selected data.
Wow.
And if you need a new worksheet, Alt plus Shift plus F1 is your shortcut.
Wait, so with just one function key, I can access help, control the ribbon, make charts, and even add worksheets.
That's right.
That's amazing. I always
Yeah.
just use my mouse for all of that. I'm starting to see how these shortcuts can really streamline things.
Absolutely. And there's even more. Creel plus Shift plus F1 activates full screen mode. So that gives you a distraction-free view of your spreadsheet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Mastering these combinations can save you countless clicks and really boost your productivity.
All right, I'm convinced the F keys are clearly powerful allies in the quest for spreadsheet domination.
I agree.
But if we had to pick a few F key shortcuts that everyone should absolutely master, which ones would you recommend?
There are a few that I consider game changers, even for experienced Excel users. Let's start with F2. Now, this one has two major superpowers. First, it lets you edit a cell's contents directly without having to click into the formula bar.
That's already pretty handy. I can't tell you how many times I've accidentally clicked the wrong cell when trying to edit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here's where F2 gets even more interesting. When you're working with formulas, F2 lets you navigate within that formula using the arrow keys.
Really?
Yep. You can pinpoint the exact part of the formula you want to tweak without any cumbersome mouse maneuvering.
Oh, that's brilliant. So I can quickly jump to a specific argument or operator within the formula?
Exactly.
That would be incredibly useful for debugging complex calculations.
Now, speaking of formulas, let's talk about another essential shortcut, F4. This one is a lifesaver when you're dealing with cell references,
Okay.
especially those pesky absolute and relative references.
I have to admit, I've always struggled with remembering when to use those dollar signs for absolute references. Tell me more about how F4 can help.
Well, imagine you're creating a formula that needs to reference a specific cell, let's say cell B2, no matter where you copy that formula. That's when you need an absolute reference.
Right.
Instead of manually typing in the dollar signs, you can simply press F4 while your cursor is on the cell reference in your formula. Each press of F4 cycles through the different reference types: relative, absolute for both column and row, absolute for the column only, and absolute for the row only.
So F4 basically takes all the guesswork out of creating the right type of cell reference. It's like having a built-in reference wizard.
Exactly.
No more typos or misplaced dollar signs.
And once you get the hang of using F4, you'll be amazed at how much faster and more accurate your formula building becomes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And finally, we can't forget about F12, your shortcut to saving your work.
Ah.
No more clicking through the File menu. Just hit F12, and the Save As dialog box appears instantly.
So it's a one-key solution for safeguarding your spreadsheet masterpiece. I love it.
I love it too.
These F-key shortcuts are already changing the way I think about working in Excel. It's like a whole new level of control and efficiency.
It's about working smarter, not harder. And we've only just scratched the surface of Excel's shortcut capabilities.
Okay. Now that we've unlocked the power of the function keys, I'm eager to see what other keyboard combinations await us. Let's delve into some more of these hidden gems.
Sounds good. So beyond those essential F keys, there's like a whole universe of shortcuts waiting to be explored.
Wow, a whole universe.
You could spend hours talking about them, but let's just focus on some key categories that can really transform your workflow.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let's start with navigation shortcuts. We touched on Control plus arrow keys earlier, but there's so much more you can do to move around your worksheets with speed and precision.
Navigation shortcuts sound right up my alley. I often find myself scrolling endlessly through large data sets, always looking for ways to be more efficient.
Right.
What other tricks do you have up your sleeve?
Well, for starters, Creedle in combination with Home or End is incredibly useful. Creedle plus Home will instantly take you back to cell A1 no matter where you are in your spreadsheet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like a reset button for your navigation.
So no more scrolling all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
That's definitely going to save me some time and effort. And what about Creedle plus End?
Creedle plus End takes you to the last cell that contains data in your worksheet. So if you've got a massive data set, it's a quick way to jump to the boundaries of your data. Think of it as fast-forwarding to the end of your spreadsheet.
I like that. These shortcuts are all about eliminating those unnecessary scrolling marathons.
Right.
What other navigation gems can you share?
Let's talk about selecting entire rows or columns. This is a task you'll likely do frequently, and there's a much faster way than clicking and dragging.
Okay.
To select an entire column, simply click on the column letter at the top, and to select an entire row, click on the row number.
You know, I've been using Excel for years, and I never realized I could do that. It seems so obvious now, but I've always defaulted to clicking and dragging. It makes me wonder what other simple tricks I've been overlooking.
It's those little discoveries that can make a big difference in your efficiency. And the beauty of these shortcuts is that they're often more precise than using the mouse. You can select exactly what you need without any accidental over-selections.
Yeah, that makes sense. Precision is definitely key when you're working with complex spreadsheets. What if I want to select multiple columns or rows? Do I have to do it one by one?
Not at all.
Uh,
You can select multiple adjacent columns or rows by clicking and dragging across the column letters or row numbers at the top or side. And if you need to select non-adjacent columns or rows, simply hold down the Control key while making your selections.
So it's like using Swish plus click to select multiple files in your computer's file explorer. I'm starting to see how many of these shortcut principles are transferable across different applications.
Exactly. And here's another handy shortcut for selecting an entire row. Shift plus spacebar. It might seem redundant since you can also click the row number, but it's particularly useful when you're already working within a cell and don't want to move your hand to the mouse.
Ah, I see what you mean. It's all about maintaining that keyboard flow and avoiding those unnecessary context switches. These little efficiency boosts really add up over time. Okay, I'm ready for one more navigation shortcut.
Okay, let's talk about moving between worksheets.
Okay.
If you're working with a workbook that has multiple sheets, Criddle plus page up and Criddle plus page down are your new best friends.
Ooh, I like that.
Hold down Criddle and use those keys to effortlessly flip through your sheets.
That's so much easier than clicking those tiny tabs at the bottom, especially if you have a lot of sheets in your workbook.
Right.
I can already picture myself gliding through my spreadsheets with ease.
That's the goal. And the more you practice these shortcuts, the more intuitive they'll become. It's like learning a new language.
I like that analogy.
At first, you have to think about each word, but eventually you start speaking fluently.
Yeah, it's about becoming fluent in Excel. Okay, I'm feeling inspired to embrace the keyboard and ditch the mouse whenever possible, but navigating is just one part of the Excel equation.
Right.
What about formatting shortcuts? I spend a lot of time making my spreadsheets look presentable, and I'm always on the lookout for ways to speed up that process.
Formatting shortcuts are another essential category. And just like navigation shortcuts, they're designed to streamline those repetitive tasks that we often do in Excel. Let's start with some basic formatting options. Control plus B for bold, Control plus I for italics, and Control plus U for underline.
Yeah.
These are universal across many applications, so you might already be familiar with them.
Yes, those are classics. I use them all the time in word processing and email. It's great that they carry over to Excel as well.
Absolutely. Consistency is key when it comes to shortcuts. Now for font sizes, you can use Control plus Shift plus to decrease the font size, and Control plus Shift plus to increase it.
Wow, okay.
No more hunting through the font size drop-down menu.
That's a game changer for me. I'm constantly adjusting font sizes to make my spreadsheets more readable, and those shortcuts are going to save me so many clicks.
And here's another one that I use all the time, Restore plus 1. This one brings up the Format Cells dialog box, which is your one-stop shop for all sorts of formatting options.
Yeah, the Format Cells dialog box can be a bit overwhelming sometimes. Are there any specific shortcuts within that dialog box that you find particularly useful?
Absolutely. Alt plus T will take you to the Number tab, where you can choose from a variety of number formats like currency, percentage, date, and time. And if you need to apply a custom format, Alt plus M will take you to the Custom tab.
Wow, those are incredibly specific shortcuts. I never knew you could navigate within that dialog box using the keyboard.
There's a shortcut for almost everything in Excel, if you know where to look. And speaking of custom formats, here's a pro tip. You can create your own keyboard shortcuts for applying specific custom formats. It's a bit more advanced, but it can save you a ton of time if you frugally use the same custom formats.
Okay, I'm adding that to my list of Excel skills to master. I love the idea of having my own personalized shortcut arsenal, but for now, I'm going to focus on these fundamental formatting shortcuts. They're already transforming the way I approach spreadsheet design.
That's the spirit. And remember, it's all about finding what works best for you and gradually incorporating these shortcuts into your workflow. There's no need to try to learn everything at once.
Right.
Just start small and build from there.
That's reassuring to hear. It's easy to get overwhelmed with all the possibilities, but I'm starting to see how these shortcuts can not only save time, but also make the entire spreadsheet experience more enjoyable.
Absolutely. It's about taking control of the software and working in a way that feels intuitive and efficient. And the more you embrace the keyboard, the more you'll realize that Excel is more than just a spreadsheet program. It's a powerful tool for analysis, visualization, and even creativity.
Ooh, like that perspective. Okay, I'm ready to dive into another category of shortcuts. What else can we explore?
Well, we've covered navigation and formatting, so let's move on to another crucial area: data manipulation.
Data manipulation. Oh,
This is where Excel truly shines, and mastering data manipulation shortcuts can unlock a whole new level of spreadsheet mastery.
data manipulation, you say? That sounds intriguing. I'm all about finding ways to work with data more efficiently, especially when dealing with those large data sets. What kind of time-saving magic can we unlock with these shortcuts?
Get ready to be amazed. We'll start with a simple but incredibly useful shortcut: Ctrl-L plus D. This little gem lets you copy data or formulas down a column with a single keystroke. No more dragging that fill handle.
So instead of manually extending a formula or copying a value cell by cell, I can just hit Ctrl plus D and instantly populate an entire column.
Exactly. It's perfect for those times when you need to apply the same formula or value to a long list of cells. And it's not just about copying data downwards. Ctrl plus R does the same thing, but copies data or formulas to the right across a row.
Ctrl plus D for down, Ctrl plus R for right. I can remember that.
These shortcuts are so intuitive. It's like they were designed to make our lives easier.
They really were. And here's another fantastic application of these shortcuts. Copying formatting. Let's say you've spent time carefully formatting a cell. Maybe you've adjusted the font, added a border, or applied a background color. You can use Ctrl plus D or Ctrl plus R to instantly apply that same formatting to the cells below or to the right.
That's brilliant. I can't tell you how many times I've tediously formatted each cell individually when I could have just used these shortcuts. It's like having a formatting paintbrush built right into the keyboard. That's a great way to think about it. And we're just getting started. Let's talk about moving and inserting data. Have you ever needed to quickly insert or delete rows or columns?
All the time, especially when I'm cleaning up data or reorganizing my spreadsheets. Usually I right-click and choose the insert or delete option from the menu, but I'm guessing there's a faster way.
You bet there is. To insert rows, select the row where you want the new row to appear and press Screws plus Shift plus plus sign. To delete rows, select the rows you want to remove and press Ctrl plus minus sign.
Okay, I'm definitely adding those to my must-learn list. And what about inserting or deleting columns?
It's very similar. To insert columns, select the column where you want the new column to appear and press Ctrl plus Shift plus plus sign. And to delete columns, select the columns you want to get rid of and press Ctrl plus minus sign.
So the same shortcuts work for both rows and columns, depending on what you've selected. That makes it easy to remember. These data manipulation shortcuts are going to revolutionize the way I edit and clean up my spreadsheets. It's like having a set of power tools right at my fingertips.
It's all about harnessing the power of the keyboard to streamline your workflow. And speaking of streamlining, let's not forget about one of the most essential shortcuts of all: Ctrl plus Z. This is your trusty undo button on the keyboard. We all make mistakes, but with Ctrl plus Z, you can instantly reverse your last action.
Ctrl plus Z is a lifesaver in any application, not just Excel. It's like a safety net for those moments when you accidentally delete something important or make a formatting blunder. And what about redoing an action that you've undone? Is there a shortcut for that too?
You bet. Ctrl plus Y is your redo companion, so you can easily toggle back and forth between actions as needed.
It's like having a time machine for your spreadsheet. I'm so grateful for these undo and redo shortcuts. They give me the confidence to experiment and try new things without the fear of making irreversible mistakes.
Exactly. And that's really what these shortcuts are all about, empowering you to work more efficiently, creatively, and confidently in Excel.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of Excel shortcuts. I feel like I've unlocked a secret level of spreadsheet mastery. Before we wrap up, is there anything else we should keep in mind as we embark on our shortcut-powered Excel journey?
Just remember that mastering these shortcuts takes practice. Don't get discouraged if you find yourself slipping back into old mouse-clicking habits at first. It's all part of the process.
So be patient, persistent, and celebrate those moments when a shortcut becomes second nature.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to refer to your cheat sheet or even create your own personalized list of the shortcuts that you use most frequently.
It's all about finding what works best for you and gradually integrating these shortcuts into your workflow. And who knows, maybe one day you'll be the one sharing your shortcut wisdom with others.
We've only scratched the surface of what's possible with Excel shortcuts, but I hope this deep dive has inspired you to explore and discover the incredible power that lies at your fingertips.
It certainly has for me. I'm ready to ditch the mouse and conquer the world of spreadsheets with keyboard shortcuts as my weapon of choice. To all our listeners, happy spreadsheeting.